Welcome to F.A.C.E, Shonn. Looking forward to hearing your voice, seeing your charts, and catching up with you.
How you doing, Dale? Can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly, Shonn. Thank you so much for joining us after a long, wild week. How are you? I'm just waiting. I see your charts now. So, Shonn, for people that don't know about you, and I have a theory that to be a great trader, you don't have to be famous, and that means you don't have to have a million
thank goodness.
Twitter followers, but there are diamonds in the rough. Always considered you one. You were kind of a mentee of Rob Booker. That's right, Rob Booker. And I haven't talked to you for a while, so your handle's at FX_operator. How have you been operating, and how have things been going for you since we last talked?
Man, it's been a while. Yeah, it's going good, Dale. It's been, like you said, the market's been pretty crazy, but it's been a crazy year for me personally. I mean, it was one of those years that I kind of had to, or at least several months that I kind of had to step back and take stock of what I was doing and how I was doing it, and come back a better trader. I don't know if you've ever had those moments, but it's been one of those years for me.
It's quite normal. And what led up to it? Experiencing drawdowns that you said, I have to go back to the drawing board and stop trading. I think to stop trading and reassess is prudent. So was that what led into it?
No, it wasn't even really drawdowns. It was actually the understanding that I was putting myself at too much risk, and the way that I was going. So I didn't even have to get to the drawdown phase where I was like, okay, this is stupid, because I knew that
yeah. Well, it may have been. I remember talking to you, Shonn, and we were on the verge of a breakout in the euro, and you said, I wish the euro would break out already so I'd have something to do. And sometimes when we're in range trading, quiet facing markets, most traders try and force things and try and make more out of even more than what the market has to offer to them. So what changes did you make after your reassessment?
So that's a great question. So basically what I was doing before, and I was doing really well at it, but I did what I think a lot of us just sort of kind of gravitate to at first, right? We fade trades, or we fade moves, and we try and say, this price is too expensive, or it's moved too far, or whatever reasoning, technical or fundamental, or whatever reasoning that we have for it. We work the opposite side of the market, and sometimes it works, and if you're very disciplined, you can do it, but sometimes that's really dangerous. So what I was doing before,
you were consistently looking for turning points.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was looking for so let me just show you here just real quick if you want me to.
Yeah, I do.
I was taking moves like this, and can I use the pin on here?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do it. It doesn't seem to be letting me do it. So anyways,
okay.
I'll just use some lines. So I was basically looking for places that I call continuation liquidity, where probabilities change in terms of when moves break out of those areas, kind of like your three drives kind of idea. When it breaks out of that move, there's the probability shift, and it moves towards not going in that direction anymore. And it works a lot, and then it doesn't work a lot. And so basically what I've done is I took this and flipped it around, and instead of trying to trade against this move, I now trade with this move. And I have, I like to think of it like geyser moves, right? Like you get all the buildup, and then you get that one move that takes you through the liquidity, and that's where I want to be in. And so I basically, I can't even tell you how hard it is to change around habits and mentality. That's probably the most difficult thing I've ever tried to do learning about charts. Yeah, learning about charts and learning about price is not that hard. Learning how to flip around how you look at a market.
Well, you're changing the habit.
That's difficult.
Yeah. Takes repetition and practice.
Oh man. And then it does take new learning of the charts. I mean, it took me a lot of time to develop how I wanted to trade and how I was comfortable with it, because the other thing was before I wasn't using stops, right? I was just managing and doing a lot of different things. Now I'm 100% stop in the market, and just managing myself a lot better. I'm not there yet. I mean, I'm no market wizard yet, but
who is?
I'm trading a hell of a lot better than I was before.
So anyway, not using stops, I've been there too. I have a joke. I say, last time I used a mental stop, my first stop was a mental institution. So now that you've made this shift and you're more going with the flow, curious as to, what we're seeing here. The trend in the dollar has been down, down, and we're trying to put in some type of turn here. What are you thinking in the dollar here? What would get you positive the dollar for a trend change, or you're going to have to wait for the trend to change with your new style and then look for the first pullback to buy? That's
exactly right. That's what I'll do now. And I have a very, like right now on this daily chart of DXY, that line that I have in right there, 93.36, that's where I would say that,
it's like a bull bear line.
Exactly. That's where the stops are right now. I would say that's where the structure's at, however you want to say it. I call it the structure. And if that line gets violated, then I would expect to see a move that happened like this, pull back to where it came from, and then you'd get a move up towards the 200. But that's how I view it. Okay. That's how I see, I call it V principle now. I see these moves. Okay. You got this move that breaks down the low. Right. You got it breaks the low. So that point where the new low, the origination point of the new low is my, bull bear line or my structure line or whatever. And so until that line goes, one of the hardest things that we do as traders is to, we look at this chart and we go, well, I can't sell that. It's been sold for, 6 weeks now, or 8 weeks, or however long you want to say it. Yeah. You're like, I can't sell that now. Well, that's exactly what, the institution wants you to believe, is that you can't sell it now. But until it actually shows you something, until it actually says, man, I'm moving up now.
I like the method. Actually, you'd be buying a B or a 3 in Elliott terms, and there was a guy around when I was a commodity broker who made a lot of money selling a very simple system, calling it a 1, 2, 3 bottom, and basically that's what it is. You let the first wave take place, you buy the retrace, and you risk the low. So, it doesn't have to be complicated. I actually think that's a great method because, if that pullback works, that's your first high or low.
That's exactly right.
You have defined risk, and then you also, usually on those waves, they're usually larger in magnitude than the first move off the lows. They're usually some type of fib extension of it. So,
that's exactly right.
So, I wish you a lot of success with this, and good luck with a new paradigm. And I also think that it's commendable because a lot of people just don't want to change. And I know I've had to make several in my career and in trading. And, I have W.D. Gann's statement up there: if you don't learn how to change your mind, you won't have any change left. So congratulations on being able to reassess what you were doing before. And
because I mean, and here's why I did it. Here's the basis of why I did it, because I was, as a retail trader, as a pure retail trader that literally has, access to, Twitter and no other real information, right? I had to figure out a way to take what I see in price and take the subconscious of years and years and years of price and say, okay, what am I fighting? Why am I fighting it? And how do I change that? And I used to do a lot of my own analysis that really didn't lead anywhere. Okay, it was a bunch of time spent on things that were like, okay, well, if this happens, then this happens, and this happens, and I'd spend hours doing it, and I'd end up with no trade ideas, right? I'd end up with no actionable concepts that I really believed in. And so now, now I basically get to the point where I say, okay, I always wanted, and I think I told you this before, I always wanted trading to just be work. I just wanted it to be something that was, I hate reinventing the wheel every day and being like, well, maybe this, maybe not. I want something that's like, okay, when this happens, do this, and then do this, and then do this. And that's how, for me, that's the only way I'm going to success in this over the
Let me ask you this. Prior, were you glued to the screen and watching every tick? And now, can you detach? Can you detach a little bit more so you could live a life using this?
Yeah. So, and that's, man, we're gonna get down a road here, but yes, absolutely. I can do the analysis and determine in 15 minutes in the morning if any pair, is, because I trade only FX, and I can determine if any pair that I watch is where I want it to be. And if it's not where I want it to be, I get to detach and just, I want to be, an entrepreneur and other things in life. I want to do other things. I'm look, all that chart time is sexy when you start out, and then you do it and you're like, man, what am I doing? I'm missing out on a lot of life here. So,
do you set and forget now, or do you, there's kind of middle of the ground, some people will set and forget their entry, stop, and objective. I kind of like to be around for the entry, to finesse the entry. But then once you're in, you know where you're wrong and you know what you're looking for. Staring at the screen doesn't change your destiny.
That's exactly right. And so I'm like you. I'll sit around for the entry, absolutely, because things can change very quickly. Because most of my entries. So what I do on the FX charts is I look at this 4 hour for context, but all of my trades come on a 15-minute chart. So I'm actually trading, basically a 4 hour move based on a 15-minute chart. And so I find my entry, I make sure it enters properly, and then
you manage it you enter on a 15 and you manage it from a 4 hour.
Yeah, and so the
I actually teach that because if you manage it from a longer term time frame, you're not going to filters out a lot of the noise, makes it easier to sit, right?
Yeah, and so my targets come in on a 4 hour chart, and my stops in on a it sounds ridiculous, but I get stops in on a 15-minute chart and my targets on a 4 hour chart because I know where this is going to go. I just have to find the right entry and let it just manage itself after that. That's really the goal.
Okay.
My worst habit right now is over managing the trade while it happens. I still have a lot of that like over anxious stuff. Like in profit, take profit.
First daylight syndrome.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want the profit to get away, you get out, and then the market runs. And
but that was a habit, right? That I learned counter trend trading, because if you got a little bit of profit, you freaking take it and you go, And so now that's probably the last real hurdle I have to get over to make this.
Well, let me help you. Trade multiples and trade out a half for small money and give the other piece a chance.
Yeah, there you go.
Give peace a chance.
Give peace a chance. I love it.
Which is pretty, timely.
Yes.
So, do you have any things that you're looking ahead for today or into next week that's on your radar screen? Not necessarily something to execute today, but
sure. So
look ahead a little bit and do you have biases, or it's strictly the trend is your bias?
So strictly the trend is my bias, and the trend gets broken down into two pieces. Okay. The trend, in anything for me, whether I'm looking at an index or a pair or anything, is the 200 exponential moving average above or below that, and then this wave, basically this 3 moving average wave that I use that is way more sensitive to price movement, and it gives me this crossover, and now I go from being long-minded to being short-minded and taking my trades in a different direction. And it's real, I mean, on this one, it's really easy to see that turnover and see how it can be useful. And so, again, breaking it down into sort of the difference, the move down above the 200 is still good, but it's less good to me than the move down below the 200, if that makes sense. So move up.
So the euro pound trading where it is right now with the possible little double bottom pattern, would that qualify because you got your first wave up and you're putting in a higher low?
So what would happen here was, back 4 days ago was actually the best trade scenario for what I do. And now it's still, I still have to consider this a sell because it's below the 200 and the wave is down. I still think, I believe that this double bottom is just, for me, it's like your Twitter handle, right? You're a stop hunter. I believe that they're going to hunt stops down in this area at some point in time. And that's largely what I, because of this point right here, that daily low on the 15th, I think that they've manipulated this to show that, oh, we're going to put in a double bottom here.
Yeah, and so that's a hope low. That's like a hope low down there.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, and that's what I call continuation liquidity, is when it's like this move right here, right? You put in this move, it pulls back into the wave, and then you get to push through it. And so that's what I predicate all of my analysis on. So
okay, Shonn. So
I would still be a short on EG. Now, granted, if I drop down to a 15-minute time frame, it's kind of ugly. So I move on from it and find something better to do, or just wait. I right now, if I just look across the pairs, if we just look across the pairs, I've got Euro US dollar still above the 200 and working to try and make a new wave up. So this could be long territory. It's not my favorite because of all the price action that we've had lately. So it's probably just a neutral range for me and not really what I'm looking to do. Pound, I actually have an order to buy. I have a buy stop in the market right now for pound dollar.
Where?
So if we drop down, so you can see how we pulled down into the wave again today.
Yeah.
I'm aiming for this point up here, and my buy stop right now on GU is I got to move this little control for go to meeting. So it's at 135.92. Because this was an origination point and a slingshot move that could push you up through the highs.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Shonn. It's been a while. Besides trading your own account, you have any business model going now where you're working with other traders, teaching, collaborating, or strictly you're in your space capsule just trading your own account? I know you have other interests. I know you're a high school football coach.
Oh man, I love coaching.
Yeah, so I in fact they call me that, coach. So I like being called a coach. Do you have any kind of business model that you're working besides you trading your own account?
So right now I do have a website that I have, and I have a video series up for this exact stuff. And I kind of put together a Saturday morning get together once a month for anybody that would want to learn more about how to trade this. Other than that, I really want to get to the point where I'm, and this may sound crazy, but in the world of sports and athletics, there's trainers, right? And I think that where the world of Forex kind of goes wrong sometimes is that they focus so much on the chart time, they don't focus on the rest of the mentality and the issues that come along with that. And that's where you being a coach comes in and allows them to, you can't really help somebody if you don't see them work. And I think that as I move forward, I want to take what I can do here and what I'm doing now and be able to translate it to somebody that, maybe they want to trade full time. Maybe they want to trade as a second job, something that they could look at in the morning and set and go live life and be successful other places too.
Okay. That's a cool goal. And the best way, you have the website, you want to show the website so people can see it?
Yeah, sure. And I'm actually, let's see here. Let me bring it up real quick. Sorry, I wasn't planning on showing the website.
And people could also follow you at FX_operator.
Yeah, and I have a blog too that I like. I love to write and talk about trading, talk about the life lessons in trading, and that's tradinglifeownit.com. It's just a little blog that I throw together and write on there pretty regularly. Sorry, I'm still bringing this up. 1 second.
Okay. Good time. Here we go.
So this is the website, and it's really easy. It's just, if you want to see the course and the videos and the Saturday morning thing, just click on FXIT tools, and the other part of it is the coaching side of it and the private training. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I love to trade. I think that the coaching, I love to coach football, so I'm trying to meld the two a little bit. So we'll see what we can do with it.
Have you had your first game yet?
Yeah, so we're 2-1, and we got a game tomorrow night.
Oh, congrats! That's a good start, buddy. So
yeah, not bad.
I want to thank you so much for showing up and sharing your story and admitting that sometimes we all have to go back to the drawing board, even because how long have you been doing this now? About 5 years?
So yeah, FX has been almost 6 years now.
Okay.
Almost 6 years.
So
yeah.
That's pretty decent, guys. So that means even after years, you still have to, it's an ongoing process. If we're not growing, we're dying. And I hope that this new way for you will take some of the stress out of trading and pips rain down on you and your family, Shonn.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, my trading warrior brother. Everyone thanks Shonn Campbell.
I appreciate it, Dale.
Go ahead, Shonn.
FX_operator.
There you go. And how does Shonn decide where to create his boxes? So you could go to Shonn's website and he'll show you. So people are thanking you, Shonn. So
I
again,
appreciate
have
it.
a great weekend. Go kick some butt.
Yes, sir.
On the football field, no turnovers. Take care of the ball. And
that's right.
I also want to thank everyone in F.A.C.E for, I hope that we're adding value to what you're trying to accomplish as a trader. And most of all, my trading warrior brothers and sisters, don't just count your pips, count your blessings, sign up for ForexAnalytix, and get prepared for a great and wild trading season this fall. So have a great weekend, everyone. Welcome to a new season. And let's kill it. Thank you, Shonn. Adios.
Thanks, Dale. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, my friend. Thank you, Steve Volge and Stelios and Blake and Grega and Nick and all the guests that we had this week, Anna and Shonn, and wow, what a lineup. So we had a great lineup of guests. Hope you guys enjoyed them too. And we're going to do it all over again, God willing, Monday, if Rocket Man behaves himself. All right. Man. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Adios. See you, buddy. See you, Blake. See you, Steve. See you, Stelios. See you, F.A.C.E. You're welcome, Andre. Looking forward to our interview with you. Looking forward to the interview Anna was in here. So a lot of people we interview like hanging out with us. So come to the place where pros trade, ForexAnalytix. See you, everyone.